We're here for a athletics clinic at Queen's College. How's it going so far?
So far, we have been having some good responses, and the young athletes are very interested, and they understand that they are at the developmental stage of their young career, and they need to be exposed to as many events as possible. It will give them an option as they get into their senior years, and you never know where you will be represented, asked to represent Barbados, depending on the amount of time you spend on a particular area. I believe that at this time, at this age, they should be exposed to as many as the disciplines within the sport as possible.
Talk to us about the different age groups of the children here.
We are going from the 11 years up, right up to as old as 60. We have a senior who is very interested in doing broad jump or long jump, and she has represented Barbados at senior games, so she wants to add shot put and long jump to what she does on the track.
How do you go about developing their talents?
Most of the athletes here who are here currently, they are either 100 meters, 200 meters, 400. We recognize that at the Carifta level, we have fallen off in terms of the events that we are representative or at the Carifta Games, and I believe that if we are going to see Barbados gain medals, the opportunities for medaling has to be expanded. The base has to be bigger. We cannot go to Carifta, which have approximately 120 medal opportunities. And if you take account of our representation over last year, we are only challenging for at least 40 medals given if everybody gets a medal that goes to Carifta Games. So more or less over the years, and COVID did not help, we were more or less looking at medals in long jump, one or so in the throws, one or two in the throws, javelin, especially shot put, one person, and we have lost a considerable lot of ground in the hurdles to Jamaica.
How do you think we did in the last Carifta Games?
Satisfactory based on the numbers that were selected, but I believe that if the Barbadian sporting community expected a lot more, but we have to maximize or increase our chances by getting our athletes more interested in other areas of the sport itself. There was a time where we could have looked at two athletes in each division going in hurdles, long jump, triple jump, but that has not been the case for the last few years. So this clinic was designed to get those athletes to see beyond the 100, 200, and 400, and expand your opportunities. I believe I came out of two coaches, the late Tony Level and Frank Batman, who believe that sprinters and jumpers should hurdle. And if in a chance in any given selection, there are only two competitors per event. But if you're consistently third or fourth, and you know to hurdle, you can look at that event to gain selection, either in the sprint hurdles or the 400 hurdles. You can also use your sprint speed, which is very important for long jumping. We have also fallen off in terms of high jump, and I believe that outside of this summer clinic, if we can get the opportunity to continue join even the school time and to visit some of those schools who may have the talent, some big strong girls and boys, and look at to expanding the interest in throws as well.
How long has this training clinic been going on for?
This is the third week. We have 2 more weeks to go. There is a 5-week clinic, and we're using this time to teach the fundamentals, basic skills, using the run, jump, throw from the World Athletics, and 5 weeks, I believe, and 5 sessions, I believe that some kind of learning will take place in terms of the basics for long jump, the approach and takeoff, landing, javelin. That would take that's a bit more technical, but the shot and the discus restore, we're seeing a lot of improvement.
Can we expect to see more of these clinics?
I'm hoping we have the blessing of the National Association, who recognize that the base of the pyramid for track and field has to be widened, and I believe that based on the support that they have given, and as I approach them for the necessary assistance in terms of equipment, etc., that we should see some of this continue right through the off season. I'm hoping that even on Saturdays, as once school has started, that we can look for more athletes to add to the numbers that are who are here.
Barbados is coming off of some success at the Commonwealth Games. Tell me your thoughts about it.
I was elated as a more or less now a senior coach of from traveling and representing Barbados at all these games. I was very pleased with the success that we have had. Obviously, I'm still glad that we can show that we have a presence in hurdles through Shane Brathwaite, and 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 I don't know if the Barbadian public understand the magnitude of two of our athletes, male and female, being world class and recognized around the world for their exploits in the 400 meters. And I believe that should motivate some of our younger ones to understand the possibilities, because they would have watched those two athletes, that Sade and Jonathan, come through the school system, excel at inter-school sports. Sade qualified, ran the qualifying time in the 200 World School Girl at Harrison, at Colvin Parry, on the guidance of Ramon Armstrong, and that speaks well for the development of track and field. I'm hoping that we don't have to wait another 4 or 5 years or another 8 or 10 years for medals to come. Um, but we know what has to be in place. The persons who make decisions that relates to sport know exactly what has to be done. The coaches are doing their job on a daily basis and a weekly basis, sacrificing time and energy to ensure that the athletes are prepared, and the development of our athletes. This stage of where we are with our local coaches is very important, so that we can see the results at the higher level.
And finally, what more do you think we can do to make sure that we can continue to succeed at these big events?
The big discussion is the having facilities to train with. Um, we're still in limbo about our national stadium. We're not sure what is happening with the proposed lane of the track at UE. Um, those type of things needs to be in place if we can celebrate or to bring along more athletes. It makes no sense. The coaches are here and working on evenings with little or no equipment, um, no facilities for good competition. Because to ask a young athlete, developing athlete, to go to Usain Bolt in those present conditions and work to meet qualifying standard is not fair. Um, the Mondo track and other tracks that are good quality lend to good performances, and the athletes are confident in what they're doing. The availability of equipment. We have coaches who, like myself, who would pull their own pocket to try to buy mini hurdles. When you do that, the taxes and the duties um, kill you, and you wonder why sometimes it becomes so difficult to produce athletes who are young ambassadors for this country. It's so difficult to do such things which benefits the country on the whole. That is publicity and mileage for a small nation that you can't pay enough money for. So I'm hoping that the availability of equipment, the facilities with that are addressed with urgency. Um, there's less talk and more action. You go there, you find those coaches who are giving on a daily basis, and you find out what they need, how you can help. Um, in terms of the athletes, what more can be done? If they're talking about a national policy, how do we use the facilities at the university to make sure that once we identify those athletes who are local and development, how do we watch that development happen over a longer period of time? What are the nutritional deficiencies? What injuries that we can, how we monitor, how can we evaluate to ensure that our brightest stars come straight through to the top?